Welcome back to another episode of the FayPD Beat, your behind-the-scenes look at the people, policies, and community partnerships of the Fayetteville Police Department. I'm your host, Sergeant Antoine Kincaid, with the Fayetteville Police Department Public Information Office. Today, we've got a fantastic episode for you all. We're introducing two brand new additions to our team who are going to help us tell the story of the Fayetteville Police Department even better. And we're sitting down with one of our dedicated city employees who keeps us, our streets and our school zones safe every single day. So let's dive right in. First up, I'm thrilled to officially introduce two of our newest members of the Fayetteville Police Department family. Joining us as our new professional staff public information specialist is Hannah Sloan, and we are also joined by Officer Josann John. Hannah, Officer John, welcome to the team and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much, too. I'm excited to be here.
Outstanding. I'm definitely glad that both of you are here. And for our listeners tuning in, Hannah, could you share a little bit about your background and what brought you to the Fayetteville Police Department?
So I'm a transplant from Kentucky. I'm actually moved here for this job. So I worked before at the Lexington, Kentucky Police Department in their public information office and was kind of looking to get closer to the beach, maybe the mountains too. Obviously a little bit warmer weather. So I saw the job posting here and joined the team.
Outstanding. And it's wonderful to have you with us. And Officer John, could you tell us a little bit about your background in law enforcement and your role with the police department?
My background, I have 3 years in law enforcement and 10 years in communication. I did my undergrad at Fayetteville State and also my postmasters at Fayetteville State too in communications, mass communications. So my overall focus is audiovisual and photography. So being here in this appointed position has definitely growing my new venture into this world.
So lots of Bronco pride.
Lots of Bronco pride.
Outstanding. Well, so Hannah, let's start with you. In your respective roles, you and Officer John, but we'll start with you, Hannah. What are some of your main projects or goals that you'll both be focusing on to keep our community informed and supported?
So there's a lot of great work that our officers do every day. And my goal is to highlight that work and the professional staff that work here because we truly have a lot of amazing people at the Fayetteville Police Department. And so to kind of highlight their work, show what they do, it kind of also tell the community, that the police department is here for you and here's what they offer, here's what they do, and here's how you can meet the faces behind all of that as well. So my goal is to kind of work with them, keep them informed during critical incidents, and bring you even more engaging content and behind-the-scenes looks at the Fayetteville Police Department.
Look forward to hear all those stories. How about yourself, Officer John?
Very similar. I could also share while I was on the road, being as a patrol officer, many officers will say that this is the side people don't see. And I think for me being in this position, I want to create that opportunity for public to see what a patrol officer go through on a daily basis, mentally, physically, and spiritually sometimes, because sometimes we have to dress back from the uniform and take time to listen to someone when we are called on an emergency. So there are times that officers want to be recognized, and I think being in this position with Hannah, we could definitely put this to public view, to bring a different aspect of how police is really being day to day.
It's so interesting that you said that. On a side note, I've always been taught in policing that we meet some of the greatest people at the worst days and worst times of their life. And it's very, very fascinating that you put it that way, and I appreciate that perspective. So we certainly looking forward to all the great work you both are going to be doing here. Everyone keep an eye out for Hannah and Officer John across our social media channels and departmental updates. Welcome aboard, Hannah and Officer John, and looking forward to all the great work that I know that you both are going to be providing to the Fayetteville Police Department and the citizens of Fayetteville. But let's jump right in because I want to talk to another special guest who is in traffic control, Miss Paulette Weaver. How are you doing this morning, ma'am?
Good morning. I am doing great.
So, whether you're driving near local schools or attending major city events, traffic flow and pedestrian safety are huge priorities for our city. Just for a quick update, we have 3 year-round schools that are open right now. We have Reed Ross Classical Middle, which is on Ramsey Street. We also have Ann Chestnut, which is located on Scarborough Road, and we have E.E. Miller, that is located on Rim Road. So if you are not abreast to that or know that those schools are open, those are year-round schools, so those traffic lights are flashing and those traffic control officers are out there, and those kids, I want to say that again, those kids are out there going to school. So please bear all caution and safety to traffic while you're going through those school zones. But Miss Paulette Weaver, traffic control officer with the Fayetteville Police Department, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
It is my pleasure.
So, Miss Weaver, I know that you and your team work mainly as school crossing guards, keeping our students and families safe every morning and afternoon. But beyond school zone coverage, what other functions do traffic control officers provide when it comes to the overall traffic safety? Do you guys work special events like parades or concerts or anything else across the city?
Yes, we have several of our TCOs, which are the traffic control officers, that will work special events. They love it. Some do, some don't, and don't do it. And but they do work those areas, and everything is about keeping everyone safe.
So you mentioned safety. We have, I believe, 39 schools in the city of Fayetteville. So what does safety look like in our school zones? Tell me some of your experiences.
Some of my experiences are, and this is one that I have to put out. When people are on their phones, they cannot see, they cannot hear, and we may be walking a child across the street. My main concern is to keep that child safe. Got to keep the children safe. Gotta get those buses out. Gotta get them out on time so they can pick up our children and bring them to school. And then something else that we do, parents are dropping their children off. We have to get a group of parents out, get a group of parents in. But if we could just have people to slow down, especially when you see that flashing light, please, even slow down slower than whatever the speed limit says, because a lot of things could happen. And we're just asking you to please slow down and put the phones down.
So you mentioned that obviously, we're talking about distracted drivers, and we're talking about those that, a lot of times we forget, regular school starts, traditional school starts August 24th. And like I already mentioned, we have the 3 year-round schools that are already in session. But you mentioned the distracted driving. Sometimes we get caught up in our day-to-day lives. We get caught up in things going on. Most cars today, they have the Bluetooth. So it still kind of baffles me as a police officer to see people with phones actually still in their hands. So your job definitely is high vis. So what about your uniform? Let's talk about that. What are people looking for because sometimes, those traffic lights, they're not working properly, or I'm going to go ahead and say this. Sometimes those of us, we kind of get numb to that, especially during the summer months. Those lights stay on, and we, as don't have school-age kids, we forget that sometimes school is in session. So tell me, what else would I be looking for? What when you're on the side of the road at those school zones? What is your uniform? What is your attire?
Thank you for asking me that, because I'm glad to let you know. Usually, it doesn't matter what color pants we wear. We are in white shirts, highlighted yellow vest, Most of us have on yellow hats. We have yellow gloves, reflective gloves. And if you are approaching, you're going to see me almost a mile away because I'm going to make sure that you see me. And that is one of the things that we have implanted in our traffic control officer's mind. Make sure people see you because you can't keep anybody safe unless you're safe.
So when Hannah, I'm going to shift to you a little bit. I remember you asking me almost day one, almost question one. And it was so fitting for today's podcast. You said, what are the traffic laws when it comes to school zones in North Carolina? Because you're from Kentucky, correct? So I guess there was a recent law change in Kentucky. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yes, so Kentucky just implemented, I think it was July 15th, a new school bus safety law. So if you're on a highway of 4 lanes or more, if there is not a median, and I say raised grass or whatever, you have to stop. So that was a change from the previous where if you were maybe in the opposite lane, you could just slow down, but now everyone has to stop. And I think that is the same here in North Carolina.
That is correct.
That is the same.
That is correct. So, and that's really, really key is a lot of folks, they don't know when they need to stop, when there's a stop school bus or when the crossing guard enters the road. And I think some people do stop even on when there's a median or divided lane. A lot of times it's just, for me, if everyone else is doing it, especially when they're stopping. I see you shaking your head, Officer John. So what is your experience with that?
Well, I had to learn the laws when I came to America. We didn't have something like school buses back home. So I went on the DMV. There's a DMV website that actually shows you why or you need to stop when this is happening. So that's how I learned it. And then when I came here and I'm seeing, okay, someone stopped in front of me, I'm going to stop too. Or someone stopped at the side of me, I'm going to stop too. That's how I learned. Even though I went on the DMV website, I also follow suit what someone else was doing. And I think a lot of people, as you said, the phone is a very big distraction to everyone, even myself sometimes too. So I put it down and I just drive. That's my main focus. But you're right, the kids are our number one priority, and it's coming to that time.
Yes. Well, Officer John and Hannah, listen, I sympathize because I know we, in our capacity, we have multiple phones. And sometimes, there's just, everybody has to call for something, or everybody needs something, or there's a text message coming in, or there's some kind of chime for an alert. So yes, we all need to be careful, but we also need to pay attention when we're on the road. One of my biggest kind of pet peeves is even in a marked patrol car, riding down the road, and sometimes people would just kind of pass right by you, and then you put them on the shoulder and you have a conversation with them. It's like, did you realize you passed a marked police car? And as I'm pretty sure our listening audience would say, most police officers, we drive like the police, with the lights and without the lights. Okay. So, but I would always say, if you pass a marked police car with or without the lights, it's pretty safe to say you are going well above the posted speed limit. So it is, we do need to calm those distractions. Sometimes there is the spouse or the significant other that you're having a spirited conversation with while you're in the vehicle. So sometimes you do get distracted. But Ms. Weaver, we're going to shift back to you. What would be, you've already touched on a lot of it as far as like these cell phones, but what else when you are actually, you have your whistle and you have your stop sign. So let's talk about that. You guys are those signs illuminated or are they not? Explain those.
Yes, we recently, all of the TCOs have a lighted stop sign. We push a button, it flashes. We push another button and it stays bright white in the background of red. You can't miss that light, or you shouldn't miss the light. But I need to go back to the buses. We do. We are there when buses are dropping kids off. We are in 4 traffic lanes, there's a median. What we do, and I just love this, there are some people that don't know, do I stop or do I not? And generally, they stop. So if they stop, and I know that they should be going ahead, I will motion them, you go ahead. This side stop only, and I let them know, and then they give me a thumbs up. Right. Yes, but our illuminated stop signs that we have, I just want to tell you, those jokers are heavy. However, we are strong enough that we keep it up for the time that we need to keep it up. And I just wish more people would look at that.
Yes, and that's a very good point. I know Officer John can attest to this. When we are on a scene of a crash and we have to get out and direct traffic, or there's a road that's closed, there's always that one person. But I live right there, or can I go right there, or can I go this way? There's always that. So we asked the motoring public to please pay attention. Please obey, especially if there's one of us, even traffic control officers, if we're in the road, obey our commands, and we're going to get everything going accordingly. So aside from school zone work, what other tasks do traffic control officers perform in the city?
We do attend special events that the city is having. I personally have not attended any of those, but I have talked to several of the guards who said, yes, I like doing that. It's fun. But for me, I'll just let them go ahead and have their fun.
So while they're having that fun, are they paid for that time?
Absolutely. The Fayetteville City Police have been very, very good to us. And each and every year, they're implementing new things that will keep their guards in place. Because a lot of times people think when they apply for these positions, it's going to be enough money that they need. And generally it is not, because you work an hour or two in the morning, an hour or two in the afternoon, and by the time you get paid, you say, it's not quite enough. So some may move on. But for those like me that have retired and still get that, it's plenty for me.
So thank you for mentioning that, because traffic control officer is a part-time position with the city of Fayetteville. That is correct. And how much does a traffic control officer earn per hour?
It's about $20 an hour.
And so those extra opportunities to work those parades and those extra functions adds to those hours.
Adds to those
hours. So in an average work week for you, what would be an average hour? Well, I mean, as far as how many hours would you work in an average work week?
Anytime schools are open, I am what they call a TCO security. I go around to all the schools. I'm checking on all of our officers. If we have any complaints, that's where I am. So, but normally I will get 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday, if the schools are open. But all of our officers do not get that. Because I am in that supervisory position, that's why I do.
Okay. So you're saying maybe 2 or 3, between 2 and 4 hours a day is about average for the average non-supervising traffic control officer?
That is correct.
Okay. So as far
if schools are open.
If schools are open.
Yes.
So that would kind of also be a benefit, right? We have weekends off and we have holidays off and during the school years. But once again, it's a part-time position.
That is correct.
Outstanding. So going back as far as how long have you been working in traffic control as far as traffic control officer?
And I know that we came from the Sheriff's Department to the Fayetteville City Police. So I've been with them since 2018. Ooh, this is one of the better jobs I've ever had. And I just want to put that out there. Okay, I'm sorry.
I love it, Ms. Weaver. Thank you so much. So for those out there listening, if you want to join the excited and most enthusiastic Paulette Weaver, I encourage you to go to our website, joinfaypd.com. Go on to the top left-hand corner. There's a menu button. Click on Menu Career Opportunities. It's listed right now. Traffic Control Officer. You can click on that button and apply for a position to join the wonderful Miss Weaver and to protect our kids. While after saying that, I'm gonna give you the last word. What would you like to say to our motoring public during when school is in and in those school zones? What would you like to say to them? Best piece of advice as far as keeping our kids and the motoring public safe.
I cannot say it enough. Please, please, please put your phones down. Our children come first. Those are your children. Those are my children, my grandchildren. Then we have to watch out for our buses. So we're out there getting the buses in and out. And we're also getting the parents that drop their children off, we're getting them in and out. So just look out for me. We're going to be out there hands waving, and I like to say hi as people are passing by. But please, please, please put the phones down.
Thank you, Ms. Weaver. Hannah, any last words?
Good, but I'm just excited to be here and look forward to working with you all.
Outstanding. Officer John?
Thank you for having me. I also do want to talk about the recruitment that the Fayetteville PD have. So we are currently recruiting for the cadets for the January 2027 Academy. So if you are interested, please reach out to Detective Sherry at 910-723-4138, 910-723-4138, or go on joinfaypd.com to apply for January 2027.
Yes, please do. So key takeaways from today: patience and paying attention to hand signals really do make all the difference, not just for your safety, but for the safety of every driver and pedestrian on the road. Paulette, thank you so very much for everything you do and for your team that you guys do for our community. And thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
That wraps up today's episode of FayPD Beat. Big thanks to Hannah Sloan and Officer John for joining our team. Thank you so very much. I can't say that enough. And to Paulette Weaver for giving us a look into traffic safety in Fayetteville. The FayPD Beat is just one of several podcasts the city produces for the Radio Fayetteville podcast channel. Be sure to subscribe to hear all of our podcasts and get notified when a new one drops. Radio Fayetteville is available on your favorite streaming platforms. Drive safe, stay vigilant, and we'll catch you next time.